Hey, good morning, everybody. Just so we're clear on a few of the things in the classroom, the next unit that we're in, I think at this point in the week, I think everyone's clear that we did not do this assignment. Yesterday, the video that was posted sort of gave you some very specific directions on what you were supposed to do. The video is fairly short compared to the time you have in class. One, you were supposed to go through the video. You're going to open the classroom assignment. Now, where do you find the classroom assignment? Well, if I go back to classwork here, right here, DDP, magazine cover, Google assignment. So if you need to find or access any information based on what you're supposed to do, and obviously this isn't done yet, you would open this up and you could kind of go through and look at some, certain examples, for example, as far as different covers that have been made in class, what you're responsible for as far as planning, what some of the criteria and constraints are as far as what you have to include. And then obviously you could go through and look at some of the skills we're trying to ask you to use or employ into your magazine cover. The next direction yesterday was to insert 4 different covers to help your design. So you want to look at covers that, lend itself to something that you're interested in. That's kind of the biggest thing. If it's, hobby related, sport related, unrelated to the school, I would assume. So the video showed you how to take screenshots and drag those into the Google Draw cover design. And then the last direction was for you to share this with me. Now, again, it said this does not have to be done. I'm not assuming this is going to be done this week. In fact, I don't want it done this week. This is something I'm going to ask you to take your time to actually design. Some of these elements are very tricky if you take your time to kind of make it look like a magazine cover. This is much different from a portfolio cover. So I asked you to share this with me so I could open it up and see what you were working on. And to this point, nobody, well, I've got one that came in. So I need to have you share those with me today for credit for at least getting that part of the activity done. Now, today, what I was going to ask you to do as you're still working, you're going to focus today on possibly bringing in either a background, whether again you decided to use a color gradient or an actual picture. So I think I'm going to narrow down my cover to, let's say, mountain biking. And one of the things, if I look at the actual assignment, this magazine is supposed to be geared towards this area, Tech Valley, the Adirondacks, upstate New York. So one of the things that we have in Queensbury, they've got a very robust trail system. So I'm going to gear my magazine towards mountain biking. So probably going to use, if I look at how mountain biking covers work, a lot of times they use sceneries as backgrounds and not gradients and colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do a specific search. And I'm not going to look at magazines. I'm just going to search magazine or mountain bike portrait. So again, a cover is portrait. Anything that's wide like this is landscape. So I want something that's portrait. Now, if I want to use this, I'm going to click on the photo, and then I'm just going to 2-finger go down to copy image. It should be that simple. You shouldn't have to do a screenshot. And then I'm going to go to my cover here, and I'm just going to paste it, and it should come right in. And that resolution is probably going to be very close to the size of my page. So what I'm going to do is delete this for now. I'll take this text box and move it out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to drag this into play. Now, again, one of the things that you want to remember is that your page is already set up at 8.5 by 11. So the image that you drag in here can't be bigger than the page. In fact, it would be good if you made it a little bit smaller. In fact, there's a print margin, just like we did with our folder covers, our portfolio covers. We want a little bit of a margin because the printer itself needs that space where it can't print. Okay, now I've covered over my text, so obviously I'm going to go to arrange, and I'm going to send that to the back, and I might have to do that a few times. Okay, now what I'm going to need to focus on is, what do I want to call this? And this right here, this is word art. So just by double clicking on it, I can adjust the actual name of it itself. Now if I want to change the colors, because right now they're sort of blending in to the background, which is kind of good. Obviously right here I could change the inside color to something a little bit darker. Okay, that might be a little bit too bold, but if I wanted to have or adjust that background, okay, what I could do is go to Format, and I could go down to Format Options, and that's going to specifically link to the text box and specifically link to the word art. And then you'll notice that I've got drop shadow highlighted here. And what I could do is change the color of the drop shadow, or I could go to a custom color if I really wanted to get specific, so it lightens it up a little bit. And then obviously I could change the angle of what that comes in. I could bring that down so it comes off the bottom, top. I could highlight and figure out how far I want that shadow to come off of it. And then the blur radius, if I want it to be a little more bold or lighten it up a bit, I could do that. Now, if you've completely exhausted any text from the choices, okay, I get that, that's fine. You could go to Cool Text Generator, and we've done this many times. Cooltext.com. Obviously, the ones that are animated, we're not going to bring in. So when you open up any one of these, you should have some alternate options as far as colors go. All right. I don't think you could actually change. You could change the text size right now, but you could also find different colors for the text, and then you could copy and paste that into your cover. Okay, so I'm going to assume 1, you're going to share this with me so I can see what you're working on. 2, you're going to start thinking of the magazine subject that you're going to come up with, title, and decide whether your background is going to be an image. It can be an original image if you want to use one, that's great. But again, you know, I want to try to find something that sort of looks like the Adirondacks. I'm not going to do something that's way out in the Western Rockies or something like that. I want to keep it so it's something that lends itself to the area. But hope everything's going well, and we'll talk to you soon.